Hello, it's December 25 and we're going to ride along Principal Community Route C1 that goes from Canberra City to Gungahlin in the north, which takes about 40 minutes and is about 10 kilometres long. Both ends of the route go through built up areas. The middle area is open grassland and we'll be using a separated cycle rate the whole way. This map can be found by searching for the ACT Active Travel Planning tool on the web. The route we're following will be the red one that goes from the city all the way up north to the dark grey line. This route starts on the junction between Rimmer Street, named after the hologram of Red Dwarf, and Marcus Clark Street on the city loop going northwest to a T-junction with Barry Drive, which we shall cross over, and then turn left. You'll notice on the ground there are large red circles with C1. These are floor markings showing the route. They're fantastic down south, and we'll see them as we go on. This is one of the main cycle routes that was set up decades ago, heading north on the inner north, going up Watson Street, following Sullivan's Creek, which is basically a floodplain through the inner north. It has the advantage it keeps the route fairly flat for several kilometres. This bit of the route is nice and wide, about 4 or 5 metres wide. This is our ideal. This is how we would like it. As you will see, it gets narrower in some parts. As this is a floodplain, it's designed to catch excess water in the event of severe storms. I've only seen it flood once in the past 25 years. This is where the path becomes narrower for a period. This is how it commonly is, but it's in good condition. We're in a suburb called Turner, which is inner northwest. And we've now joined up with Route C6 that comes from ANU, which is off to the west, and we're heading north. And after a short while, Route C6 will diverge off to the northeast to Dixon. We've moved suburbs up to the next suburb called O'Connor. And now we're approaching a major double dual carriageway crossing called MacArthur Avenue that goes east-west between the ABC studios and Belconnen. There are a number of principal cycle routes coming through here. You can see by the number of different colour-coded circles. Some of them go left. We'll continue straight ahead, back to a nice wide, 5-metre wide path along here for a short period of time. And here is where Route C6 continues straight ahead up to Dixon, and while we'll be turning left and heading north past Lynham Oval. Again, you see the red circles, they just show the way so easily along this route. You see there's a number of large mature trees on the left. They form root upheavals and sharp bumps. If you go past these, the best thing is to move to the opposite side of the path if you can, because the roots only goes about 4 or 5 metres. In the past year or so, the government has been resurfacing, retarmacking some of these areas of severe root uplift. It's a continuing process and makes life fantastically more comfortable. It's made a great improvement to these routes. You can spot it where you see the bits of dark, new, flat tarmac. And there's no need to flinch when you're riding over one of those bits of tarmac now, which is excellent. There we go. got Lynham High School on the right, Windbella Christian College on the left, Lynham Primary School was on the left. And this is one of the main commuting routes out north from the city. This is Moet Street that goes northwest from Northbourne Avenue. And there are sports areas over on the right, primarily hockey and archery, netball. I'm sure there's one or two that I've missed. This big crossroad is Ginninderra Drive coming in from the west and goes down but where we've come from for the main commuting route going into the city. The Route C1 crosses the road over here. And this particular route is useful for people going to Gungahlin and Gungahlin, which is the middle north and northwest. There's a big crescent here. This end of the crescent is busier. It has a signalised T-junction, which works well. A little bit further on, we'll come across what's known as colloquially as a wombat crossing, which is basically a zebra crossing on a speed hump. The big advantage is it slows down motor vehicles to the same speed as bikes at the crossing, which makes it safer for bikes, but also the number of incidents involving cars are greatly reduced because they are travelling at a slower speed going around the corner. Very much a win-win situation. This is a win-win crossing, and they're certainly very popular with push bike riders. This path will continue ahead and get carried on to Gungahlin to the northwest, but soon we'll be turning a sharp right to end up close to this road on the right, Ellenborough Street. There we go, turning right. And soon we'll do a sharp right turn again to cross this road. And on this crossing is on a blind corner, particularly for approaching traffic. So you look behind us on the right, but it's important to look left as you go halfway, as in now, for traffic that suddenly appears as you cross the road. And the Barton Highway is on our right, and this path will take us on an underpass, just like that. And we will continue along here for about half a kilometre, where there's a crossroad between two dual carriageways, and we shall turn onto Gungahlin Drive, and we shall stay on the right hand side for a short period of time. As you can see, there are cracks. They're all longitudinal cracks where there's been gentle subsidence on the side of the tarmac, and the tarmac is slowly spreading. It can usually be seen by weeds that grow up, first of all, near the centre line. This is Gungahlin Drive on our left. I'll be doing about 3.5 kilometres along here. Now you will see there are signs every half a kilometre or so describing that this is a shared route used by both pedestrians and bike riders, and explains the rules of the road or the guidelines to be used. Basically, because bikes are faster, they should give way to pedestrians. Pedestrians, although they have the right of way, should not obstruct the route. So bicycles should make sure that pedestrians know they're there by preferably ringing their bell or calling out, making sure they have their attention. It also mentions that dogs should be kept under control. If you get a dog on one side of the bike and the owner on the other side, the lead tangles up with the bicycle and it's all tears all round. Okay, we're approaching Mitchell with the light industrial area for the north of Canberra, and there's a right turn that goes into Sandford Street, and we shall be turning left to join the other side of the road here. There we go. And it's now at least 2 kilometres along this route. This is a good fast road, but people who commute along here regularly bemoan the fact, because it's so open, if there's a strong northwesterly wind going home on a hot day, it can make it very hard work and hot and sweaty going home. It's just one of those things for the open area. The area of grassland on our left is known as the Gungahlin Grasslands Nature Reserve. The odd bits of tall buildings we can see through the trees on the right, that is the backside of the Mitchell light industrial area. Gungahlin itself is ahead and slightly to our left, and we will be turning left and effectively cutting the corner slightly. The main living area and the industrial areas continues ahead straight, and the light rail route continues ahead north for a couple of kilometres and then turns 90 degrees left, and we shall join up with it in about 15 minutes. Off to our right is a new suburb called Franklin, and soon after that there'll be a large grassland on our right called the Mulungarry Grasslands Nature Reserve. All those suburbs were built in the previous 10 or 15 years. The road to our right is Udaroo Avenue. You cannot access it travelling in this direction. This area is fairly flat with a slight uphill. Approaching on the left is a suburb again. This is an older suburb for this area of Canberra called Palmerston, and the path goes up more. You'll notice we go a bit slower climbing up here. We're crossing over the crescent that goes through Palmerston called Kosciuszko Avenue. Balconen itself is ahead of us and in front, and that path going off to the left is in theory a shortcut, but this particular path is very fast, and if you go ahead through and turn left at the second traffic lights, you'll find this path continues, and I find if I'm just trying to get to Balconnen, I don't take that shortcut, but I can get there more quickly by maintaining this high-speed route. Just over this hill, we're now going to do a sharp right U-turn and go underneath Gungahlin to the other side. Again, excellent markings on the ground showing you the way to go. The roundels on the ground work as far as this cross traffic lights that are just turning up in the near future. After that, it all starts to come apart at the seams, and we'll look at where they go wrong. So that tells us the correct way to go, which is over the Valley Avenue, and we'll turn right here. There's good markings there. This will bear right. We're now going to do a little U-turn to go into Gungahlin city centre. If you wanted to continue further on, okay, here's the problem. It says C1 going this way and a sign called C11 off the left. We're not on route C7 here. That's where things are going wrong. You see the big tall housing block ahead. If you take any of these footpaths or roads to the left and just keep that in front of you, that will take you out to the northwest of Gungahlin. But going into the city centre, we're going to take go over two roads and take the second left. You can turn left there or here to head to the northwest of Gungahlin city centre. And we'll be taking the next left, but we'll notice and have a look at the sign. It says C1 left, C7 here. That's not true. There is no C7 here. So we turn left here, but coming the other way, you'd be turning right. This sign is wrong. You do not turn left. You should be turning right if you're coming back the other way. This is where going through Gungahlin, all the signs seem to be a bit weird. We're approaching what I call the city centre. You have a library, a public toilet off the left. This is Gozard Street, and we're crossing Hibberson Street. Ahead and to the right of the main shopping area, and about 200 metres further to the right is the end of the light rail with good access. Obviously, it's a takeaway shopping area, your McDonald's and KFC. So we've done one left turn, and we're doing another left turn and heading northwest to where C1 continues out to the far west of ACT. And those tall residential buildings that we saw as we entered Gungahlin, you can see here on the right. So if you just keep those in front of you and just wriggle through the roads and the paths, you'll get to this corner, no problem. We're approaching Gundaroo Drive, which is the main route from Balconnen heading north. Route C7 follows that, and Route C1 will continue straight ahead, but we'll look at that in the next video. Cheerio.